Hello, everyone. Dr. Eames here. This time I'd like to talk to you about discrimination as a way of acting. Now, discrimination is really the result of stereotypical thinking and prejudice, which is a way of feeling, and we end up getting discrimination. And discriminatory acts can be done by people who intend to do them on purpose, and also people who are unintentionally discriminating for whatever reason. They simply don't know. But when we talk about discrimination, what we're really talking about is excluding entire groups of people. And the criteria in judging whether or not discriminatory behavior exists lies in the consequences of that behavior. Um, Generally, when we look at discriminatory behavior, there is some type of power imbalance here. It's an essential component. And we've had civil rights legislation over the years and activism over the years that are a result of the consequences of discrimination on some groups of people. Um, Laws and regulations at both the state and federal levels sometimes are very overt in building discrimination into all of America's institutions. Sometimes they're more subtle. But we know that these disadvantages are built into uh, our institutions of justice, our notions of freedom, into our freedom to travel, into our freedom to buy a home. There are biased feelings that are really discriminatory acts being acted out over time, and we don't always realize that that is the situation. So it is an ongoing fight. The civil rights movement is alive and well today, and it's particularly becoming apparent today in our various ethnic relations that there is a lot of discrimination out there, and we have not dealt with it in the past, and we certainly will have to if we want to survive as a country. Um, and you can also be a party to discrimination as an individual if maybe it's unintentional, but if you're part of an organization that has practices that discriminate, then you have to, accept the fact that you're part of that. Um, and so that's why we want to become culturally savvy at the end of the day. We want to rectify some of this sort of thinking that categorizes whole groups of people as being somehow deficient or less. Um, and one way we can do this is to become culturally savvy one person at a time. It's probably the only way to fix a culture where we do have a lot of discriminatory feelings being acted out. Remember, discrimination is the third element of irrational thinking that forms the stereotypical mindset of a way of thinking becomes a way of believing, and then of course discrimination becomes a way of acting it out. Okay, that's all I want to talk about this time, folks. I'll talk to you again soon.